One of the things that really interests me is Egyptology, or the study of ancient Egypt. I guess I'm kind of addicted to old things and old ideas, and first of all that got me into studying India, which at the time I thought was probably some of the oldest groups of ideas and people around. But then I discovered that in fact the oldest religious texts or spiritual texts in the world come from ancient Egypt, and they're inscribed on the insides of pyramids and things, whatever. So inscribed on the insides of the pyramids are things called the pyramid texts, and they happen to be the oldest religious texts that they've ever found. And in fact, even though they're written in stone on the inside of these great buildings, when you read them, they actually say that they're copying from manuscripts. So they're even older than the pyramids. Now, I guess the pyramids are about 3,500 BC. So what's that? About 5,500 years old. So that's kind of pretty old, and that's interesting. And the ideas themselves are also, when you read them, they're quite complicated and quite strange, but they're sophisticated. The Egyptians loved nature. They had a great sort of connection with nature, and they thought that the whole of their country, in fact, was kind of a special place. It was a very special place which was closer to the gods, that the gods actually lived there. They called it the Temple of the Cosmos, almost, as if it was lots of people after them actually believed them in this, that there was something special about Egypt and the landscape and the light and the elements there that set it apart from any other place. They didn't believe in just one principle, one sort of god or goddess, which kind of makes them a bit different to a lot of other people around the world. They kind of thought that there were lots and lots of gods and goddesses and things. In fact, I believe there's about 150, 200 different spirits and gods that you could find in the Egyptian religion. And that's a bit complicated, really. I can't get my head around that, and I don't think the Egyptians could really get their heads around it. So they kind of organized them into family groups. So they sort of understood the gods as being a kind of a family of, that starts with maybe one principle, which is always sort of as very mysterious and abstract. Nobody can understand that. And then it kind of splits up and the family grows up, and you get kind of, a god and a goddess, and they have children. You've got this kind of family of about 8 or 9 gods and goddesses. And just like any other family, well, you get good families, don't you? And you get kind of bad families. So kind of good things go on in the family, and then you get the kind of real things, the real arguments and the wicked uncles and the kind of jealous sons and all that sort of stuff. And it just strikes me it's kind of quite easy to cope with, really, as a set of spiritual ideas. It's because, everybody's got a family and you can kind of relate to it. So that's basically how they approached the world. I mean, I guess they were trying to they're very influenced by the elements and by nature, right? And so it's a kind of natural religion, if you like. And that appeals to me quite a lot as well. Yeah, I think I would just say that for me, the appeal of the Egyptian religion is the fact that they think the world is quite complicated, and they don't try and break it down or reduce it to just one principle, and that one principle is what governs everything. They say the world is complicated, therefore the world of human beings and the world of spirituality is also complicated and has to be represented by lots of different things. And that to me seems a more sophisticated way of looking at the world than some of the ones that maybe we were taught when we were children.